Hey homeschoolers! Am I overdressed? Yes, I am. But you know, I have all these nice shirts and nowhere to go, so I figured YouTube's gotta see them. Somebody's gotta see them. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We used mathusee primer for my daughter from preschool to kindergarten, taking our time, which means I have plenty of exposure to the specific curriculum and I have had the time to get to know it. In this video, I will be reviewing the curriculum and sharing the pros and the cons with you. Spoiler alert, we love it. But I will share with you the largest negative to this curriculum as well in this video at some point. Before we get to the information about this curriculum, I would like to say we plan to use mathusee Alpha in the coming school year, and that is the next level to use above the primer level. So if you are interested in learning how we use the Alpha level and how it works, be sure to subscribe by clicking the bright red button below this video, because I will be sharing videos about the curriculum in the future. So first, what do you get with the mathusee primer? Well, at the time of this video being filmed, in the primer level setup, you get one instruction manual for the parent, one student workbook, the instructional DVD, and access to their digital products, which includes lesson videos, manuals, and solutions, math songs, digital manipulatives, and a worksheet generator. What I will say is I personally feel the digital products are worthwhile, and this set I just described to you is $68, which I find to be a reasonable price for curriculum. And you can upgrade your purchase to the Primer Universal set, and this will include the block manipulatives that are sort of the heartbeat of this curriculum. That will bring the cost to $142. Now, if that price seems steep to you, keep in mind you can usually find the block manipulatives secondhand for less money on websites such as eBay and Facebook Marketplace. If you are wondering how you can spend even less money when purchasing curriculum, stay tuned until the end of this video, where I will share a link to another video that explains how I save money on curriculum. Also, in the primer level curriculum, there is no test booklet, and that is because testing is not needed at this level, to be honest. Testing begins on the Alpha level. The next question you may be asking yourself is, how do you know that this is the level for my child to start on? That is a question we all ask ourselves when looking into curriculum options for our child, of course. The wonderful part is that mathusee, their website, has a very simple placement test. Generally, primer level is best for preschool and kindergarten age. It is best used at the very beginning of your child's schooling. Some people will say that you can skip primer and go straight to Alpha. I would say the opposite myself. I found the primer especially useful in introducing many math concepts to my daughter and keeping the lessons quite simple. After finishing the primer level, I feel confident to say that she will be ready for the next level. Another point that I'd like to make about mathusee primer is that each concept has multiple days of work to continue mastering it. We only do about 20 minutes of mathusee per day, and depending on her ability to grasp the lesson concept, we were able to complete one lesson within about 3 to 5 days. Now, each lesson has about 7 pages, but have math work on both the front and back of the paper, so technically about 14 pages of worksheets. And this allows her to, on a daily basis, get used to the concept enough to feel confident in it. As the lesson goes on, you will see that the review is also included on these worksheets. So through the current lessons worksheets, you will focus on a specific concept, but you will see many opportunities weaved into the worksheets to continually review the previous lessons that they have already mastered. Now, personally, I prefer we do every worksheet before moving on to the next lesson, even if it is a concept that my daughter mastered quickly. But many families do choose to skip to the next lesson once their child has grasped the concept, and they go ahead and just start the next concept. Now, either way is fine, and it will not mess with your child's comprehension necessarily to do so. What I will say is that your child building confidence is just as important as grasping the concept. So make sure that even if you plan to skip ahead to the next lesson before you finish all of the worksheets, that you give your child enough time to grow confidence around the new skill being taught in each lesson. It will help a lot in the long run if you do that, And also I'd like to add what my daughter loved the most was that a few pages in each lesson give them an activity such as connect the dots or using cupcakes or shapes to count. It's a nice way to break up some of the monotony that happens with the repetitive mastery style of the curriculum. In the primer level, you see many early math concepts covered. You will see it covering things like number recognition, place value, units, math symbolism, adding and subtracting, solving for unknown, tally marks, skip counting, grouping, and telling time. There is more covered in this curriculum than what I just listed, but it would take a while to list them all. Now on to the blocks. The blocks are why most of us buy this curriculum. It creates more of a feeling of play rather than the idea of solely just doing worksheets, which most of us can agree can get boring. The blocks are the opposite of that, and they keep it fun. Each block is color-coded and the same size as the blocks on the worksheets, so you can use the blocks directly on top of the worksheets. The colors are a great way to help your child identify different numbers. For example, the 1 unit block is green while the 8 unit block is brown. This also helps with grasping the concept of grouping. Your child will begin to recognize how to make the number 10 by adding the 5 block in the 5 block, and that adding the 4 block in the 6 block can give you the same result of 10 as well. Plus, all of the colorful blocks seem to draw my daughter's attention and more, so that's always a plus. Now, this is the main reason we are choosing to stick with mathusee for the coming school year. It is an option that creates learning with play and busy manipulative hands instead of just pretty pages or stories in a workbook. There is so much room to expand more as well beyond the primer workbook thanks to how simple the lessons are laid out. So if my daughter gets bored every now and then of the repetitive work, we can always move away from the workbook and use other items in our school space to master the same concept and stay on track with the curriculum. Another important thing to talk about is the DVD that comes with the set. In the DVD, you will see the creator of mathusee teaching the lesson, or at least I think he is. So you can either watch the DVD and repeat what he does, or you can just have your child watch the video before you start the lesson. Also, this math level is so simple. You could forego the DVD and altogether just do your own thing. But I do personally find the DVD useful thanks to the unique way he uses homes and neighborhoods to explain units and place value. Now that may sound confusing, but when you start using the curriculum, you will see what I mean and it will make sense. Now, personally, I do not find many cons with this curriculum option. The main con that I think is it is repetitive to the point that it may become tedious for you and your child. And even as we closed out and finished the entire curriculum, I could feel that both me and my daughter were ready to move on. The good thing is that boredom can be easily cured by changing it up and finding new ways to teach the same lesson while skipping out on the worksheets. You can do the math problems using dot markers, using Skittles or other small countable snacks, using chalk on a sidewalk, magnets, and so many other options, honestly. And as I stated before, this will not throw you off from the lessons as they are very clear and easy concepts to follow. In all, after the research I personally did and then actually executing the lessons, I felt confident that mathusee overall and primer were the best choice for my family. Are you curious to see how a lesson actually works? If so, click that top video next to me and you will see mathusee primer in action. And if you're wanting to know how I save money when I buy curriculum, click that bottom video if I can talk. That'll give you more information. And I'll see you over there in one of those videos. Have fun homeschooling.